nature when you talk about race relations and what's taking place, particularly with what we've seen happening over these last few weeks on television, watching these different videos that have occurred throughout the country. At the same time, it's also an opportunity to kind of think about what our country is about and how we confront these issues. In our democracy, we are a country that is committed to equal justice for all. And at the same time, we are a nation of laws, as was written above the Supreme Court. We are a nation of laws, not men. And those laws have to be enforced. They have to be enforced fairly, but they do have to be enforced if we are to have order in a democratic society. So the real challenge is how do you make that a reality in what is a diverse society? I mean, look at this audience, look at us up here. America is diverse. This is a land of immigrants. And in many ways, that's our great strength. Our diversity is our greatest strength. And yet it can present challenges. And that's what needs to be dealt with, is how do you recognize our diversity and at the same time recognize the approach we have to take in order to allow everyone to be able to achieve success in our society, to achieve equal opportunity in our society. We've had discrimination in America going back to the beginning of our country. Whether it was African Americans as slaves, whether it was Latinos coming out of the Mexican-American War and the independence of Texas, whether it was the Chinese with the railroads, whether it was Irish or Italians competing for jobs, we suffered discrimination as well. You can just go right down the list. Japanese, 110,000 Japanese were interned after World War II. Why? Because they were Japanese. And even after 9/11 and the attack of 9/11, obviously a great deal of concern about Muslims in our society. And you looked at everybody who was a Muslim with suspicion as a result of what happened on 9/11. So, we've had discrimination in our society. And yet we've also made great progress. I mean, all you have to do is just look up here. We are a country, by the way, who's got the first black president in our history, first black attorney general. I, as an Italian American, not only elected to Congress, became director of the CIA and Secretary of Defense. Ken Salazar, first Latino to be Attorney General in Colorado, elected to the U.S. Senate, Secretary of the Interior. Ray Kelly, Irish background, became police commissioner in New York City. And Ben Gillis, who's a local kid, African American, rose to the head of the NAACP. Progress has been made. Progress has been made in this country. But when you see what's happened over these last few weeks, when you look at the video coming out of Ferguson, New York City, Milwaukee, North Charleston, probably the one that hit home in the worst way, to see a white police officer shooting a black running away from him. It starts to turn things on their head. And it's important for us to ask key questions about what's happening. I think the first question I want to throw open to our